Hello, good evening, and welcome to the 40 Corner. I'm Sparks. Yeah, sorry, playing in my ear. Full schoolboy error. Make sure you can hear it. Make sure the sound's on, but mute it. But there we go. Yeah. So welcome in. Make sure you're liking and subscribing to the channel, and put on the little bell, and you get notifications when we go live as well. Today we've got Bez, who's a returning member. How are we, Bez?
Let me put my phone away. Sorry. Pretty much okay, despite yesterday's result, I guess. Yeah, let's
Let's do an
Tuesday, I
intro,
guess.
and
Was
then we
not
can
the
get
best.
into that.
So Wednesday, excuse
Into
me.
the kind of the whole feelings of the whole situation, and I'm sure we've all got some kind of enlightening feelings about that one. But there we go. I've got a new member of the panel. Callum, how are we?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm not as annoyed about yesterday, I think, as some other people. You're going to get some like angry people in comments about the way that I talk about Arsenal.
I mean, everybody's got their opinion, right? And that's why we do this, right? So it's kind of a point of, you've already got a fan here, Callum, the guy who asked. So, maybe they'll change their minds once they've heard what he's got to say. I don't know. Early days, but you have a fan. So there you go.
Where's mine?
I mean, where's mine? It's my show. But hey, there we go. It's all good. It's all good. We're all here. We're all here for the fun, and maybe we can share opinions and kind of settle people down and whatever. You might be able to settle me down. I don't know. But there we go. Well, go on then, Callum. Since you're new and since you started going, what are your thoughts on yesterday? Let's go with that.
I mean, yesterday was a poor game. Yes, it was probably the worst I think we've played like in a while. Like, I don't think we've played that badly in the league in a long time. I don't think we've kind of been at that kind of. It was pretty pathetic, to be honest. Like, we kind of went out, immediately looked completely rattled, just were not really at it. And then as soon as they conceded, that was sort of it. And by 60 minutes, we were, just resting legs rather than trying to kind of go for it. So for me, it was awful. But I was already finished being disappointed after the first leg because we lost 2-0 at home. That was already, it was done. Like, we weren't going to, unless we came out like we did against Man City, we're not going to do that 3 days apart with no kind of depth of the team. We weren't going to go and win it. We weren't going to, like, it was so unlikely. If we'd done it, it would have been amazing. But I went into that thinking, we're going to lose, don't lose badly. And we did lose badly.
Mm.
But I just think it was already done. Like, it's the League Cup.
So you kind of satisfied yourself that it's a League Cup. It doesn't really matter. We just need to not get injuries.
Yeah, for me, Martinelli being injured was more frustrating than the result.
Yeah. Okay, fine. And you say we haven't performed like that for a while. Do you think we performed worse than the other two cup games, or the same? Or
I think yesterday was the worst of all of them. Because all of our good players played badly. It wasn't like normally if we have a bad game, everyone's jumping on the usual suspects to blame that certain people aren't good enough. Yesterday it was Saliba, it was Raya, it was it was the players who were supposed to kind of take responsibility and be kind of the foundation of our team just looked totally rattled. They were just completely out of it, having like everyone decided to have a bad game at the same time. And so I just think that doesn't normally happen. There's normally, a lot of the time our defense are kind of doing their thing and we don't quite click up top, and when we play bad, it's because we've not created chances. It's not because we've been poor all over the pitch or we've allowed a team to just make us look bad. We've just been, we're not clicking, we're not creating enough, we're not kind of doing enough in the offensive third. We're still controlling the game, lots of possession, but there's kind of no incisive kind of movement. But yesterday we were just sort of poor everywhere. Like there was
Yeah, Saliba had a bit of a nightmare, didn't he? To be fair to him, he did nothing in the air. I mean, he's not necessarily an aerial kind of player anyway, is he? But yesterday particularly, I thought he was terrible.
He was every time he got tight, he was beaten. Isaac had his number every single time. That's normally where he excels. He gets tight, he nicks the ball, he kind of doesn't allow it to go past you. But it was just immediate, like he was done every time. First touch, Isaac did him, and you were just left going, "What?" I thought Real Madrid wanted him. I thought he was the best defender in the world. What's just happened? Am I watching the same game as everybody else?
No, everybody, you got a fan club, mate. So
yeah.
We're here for it.
Growing each
So,
minute. What's going
you know,
on?
you've got more fans than I have. So yeah.
Thank you very much, everyone in the comments.
Jesus Christ alive, man.
You know.
That's it. I'm walking out, man. I'm walking out, Spot. I'm walking out of the podcast. I'm walking out. I'm done. I'm done for the night. Look, another one.
No, this is obviously he's got to stay humble, and then
It was bound to be one of them.
Yeah, I mean, I can rate it, to be honest. I've got no problem with that whatsoever. I've got no problem with what Gordon was on about. I don't really know what it's got to do with him, to be honest, but it's just a bit of banter. It is what it is.
Trippier was in on it as well after the game, wasn't he? Was it on his Instagram or his Twitter or something? He jumped in with a "Stay Humble" post as well.
I mean, to be honest, I'm here for that. You know, it's perfectly fine. I'm here for that. And like I said, I don't really understand the relativeness of it. And
do you think if that was Arsenal players doing that on Sky Sports on the next episode, we'd have Jamie Carragher and Gary Neville telling us all about how we need to look into social media and how it's used because it's outrageous that Arsenal would be so unprofessional?
Yeah, absolutely. But you know, it's only a problem if ... You know, we all know what the dots are, don't we? So you know, Newcastle have done that yesterday, haven't they? And that I haven't seen a thing in the media about it. It's all they've been talking about for 3 days, because Lewis Skelly did that. But yeah, it's what it is. But yeah, I mean, it borders on the indescribable as well, doesn't it? Because obviously it's you know, a black guy's dunked on a white guy. You know what I mean?
And personally, I loved it. I thought it was brilliant.
Why are they trying to stop it? What I don't understand as well is you want to give a yellow card for a celebration for whatever, but if somebody actually does get kicked, you don't want to give a yellow card out. It's craziness to me. It's just like
this happens all the time at the moment, where the yellow cards are for things like, oh, they took slightly too long on a throw in, they kicked a ball 2 seconds, half a second after a whistle.
Yeah,
but you'll get either cynical fouls or quite aggressive fouls that are just kind of waved on, and they have a chat and say, you know, calm it down, let's not do that anymore.
Yeah, or a studs in ankle challenge is a yellow card, but
on Martinelli, totally ignored.
Yeah,
let go, no yellow card, couldn't believe it.
Yeah, a bit mad, but there we go. Bez, how are we feeling now? What are we taking from it? Where we at? Bez is a rant merchant, by the way, so he can go on rants. So you know,
if you say that clip of me last year having the Rodri outburst, which you guys, you know, Sparks came out. Don't worry, I'm happy to do it again. But the thing is, the way it happened though, Callum, I'll break it down to Callum in the best English way possible before the watershed. I simply said, Callum, I need to go Connor again, but he's not Connor, it's Callum. I said to Rodri, be more humble. You can go Arsenal weak mentality. For me, we just challenged you. That's not weak mentality, is it? We gave you a fight. So clearly, it's like banter. You give it and receive it. If you don't like it, don't be a sports fan, as I say. But anyway, that's life.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a bit of arrogance involved in that situation, isn't there? Just like,
hey, everyone's got it, but it's how you use it and how you come across it.
You can be a bad loser, but you can be a bad winner as well, right? And
you know where I'm coming from, Spurs. Yeah. I've known you almost 2 years now.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You know, you can be a poor winner as well as a poor loser, and
course. We can do as F1 fans as well, but F1 is another topic for another day, me and you F1 boys, as you know. But talking of last night, and I can talk about Sunday, talking about Sundays, maybe another part of the segment, but I'll talk about Tuesday first and foremost. From also, as you know, because I've got a busy schedule, highlights more or less, I watched the highlights, and I watched some of the segments, and I'm going to touch what Callum, and this time I'm not say Connor, so I don't know why I'm stuck in Connor in the world. Basically, from also in the highlights, I saw that it was quite disappointing that we just not. I mean, I was there for the first game against Newcastle. Sadly, I think, as Connor would say, and as he said, sorry, I think the damage was done in the first leg. Because somehow, somewhere, I just sensed like in the second leg, Newcastle would just give us all the, damage limitation was already destroyed. I felt literally the team just gave up. From the moment they closed the game at 2-0, I told myself, you know what? League Cup this season is just another write-off. It's sad, really, because I'm an optimist Arsenal fan. I realize, you know what? Just try go to the final at least. Try go to the final. But I realize now, like the team just looked like proper jaded last night. Considering what went through on Sunday, as you know yourself, because you were there. I felt like from us as well, we didn't look hungry enough, from us. So we didn't look like I don't
giving
know.
up, didn't we?
We lacked.
We
Yeah, like we look rattled.
rattled. I think
is
a good word actually. We look affected by the atmosphere. We look affected by the team setup. He just weren't ready for it.
I swear to God, and I'll say this to you, Sparks, and I swear to God, not being a heavily Christian, you're saying all that, but obviously I'm a Christian like you guys are. But basically, as soon as I flicked the game on the highlights, I won't say the channel now because the less of them, the better.
Yeah.
That channel.
Yes, yeah, we know where you are.
By the way. And Callum, sorry, Callum. I keep going Connor. For goodness sake, go over yourself. Sorry, this is not video. Basically, I've got Terminator stuck in my head all day. I don't know, Terminator stuck like John Connor. Like, I swear to God, sorry. It's Terminator. Sorry, Callum. Sorry. Anyway, I'll try and keep grounded now and humble, I promise. So basically, jump on the highlights on the YouTube side of it. It says, same old Arsenal always cheating. I think for the life of me, don't these teams not realize their teams cheat just as much as Callum said last night? Well, not last night. For example, yeah. Well, I'll touch on a bit on Sunday. They fouled Trossard. They kicked him where it hurts Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva gets nothing. Not even a warning by referee. Fine. I'm going to have a little mini round right now. But then last night for also is Martinelli gets clattered, gets fouled, and then apparently there's a tackle. I'm like, clearly the intent is there. We know Dan Burn, that utter BFG, as we like to call him. I won't use any colourful words.
He's a beanstalk, isn't he? He's a bit of a beanstalk.
Okay, beanstalk it is then. Yeah, beanstalk it is. Yeah. Or is it those storks we see down in Surrey somewhere? Surrey, Sussex, I think, storks. Because our family down there somewhere. A family,
It's a family show.
Family we spoke about. Yeah, that's stork. Is that the storks? The beanstalk, exactly. I'm glad to know what they are now. I'm so glad to know what they are. But yeah, I don't want to dwell too much on last night because I feel I don't want to talk about it too much. But I just feel like, but then the certain bunch down Sparks, I just feel like now they're attacking Arteta. I'm thinking, so you are the most fickle mind there is. I saw you obviously earlier tweets. I was like, they're so fickle. It's like, go over yourself. All this ranting against your own team, against your own team manager, is just make you have more clicks and more exposure because you're just going to go let it out. The season's not over yet. There's still like 4 months of the season left, technically, as of this month. And I feel like these people are just losing their head. Oh no, we are the League Cup. This is the same bunch. And I was literally there next to them. And I challenged a few of them, as I told you, in person on Sunday. And then now they're ranting, oh my God, we are the League Cup. Arteta out. And then get over yourself. Get over yourself. Come on now.
Arteta out is crazy to me. Like, we're second in the league. For the last 3 years, we've essentially sat in first or second the entire time, this third season in a row. I know this year it's Liverpool rather than City, and that's what's wound people up. But we've essentially sat around second in the league versus teams who have spent more money than us, had better squads to start with when we started spending the money we did. And we've consistently stayed at that level, even this year when We've had constant injuries. We've never really got going, and we've stayed at that level. We're still better than everyone else, even with all of that kind of context to it. We're in the Champions League. We finished third. Big teams have been messing up in the Champions League, even in smaller games. There are no easy games in Europe, and there's been PSG, City, Madrid, teams who would all consider themselves to be ahead of us in Europe, messing up in their early games and kind of having to play another game. We came third. We weren't ever really unlikely to do that. We stayed in control. We made sure that we were kind of professional in the way we approached it. We didn't try and go over the top. We were all about get the points on the board, be conservative, kind of do what you need to in Europe, which for years and years we never did. So it's quite nice to see us kind of approach it that way. But we're third in the Champions League, second in the league, and everyone's acting as if like the sky has fallen, Arteta has to go, the whole project has failed. And it's like, look at the injuries and look at the holes in the squad. How is that your conclusion? Like, why are you not sitting and going, what are the club doing? How have we failed in summer and in January to fill gaps that we all know are there?
3 windows, by the way. 3 windows, not just 2. 3 windows. Because Nketiah went the summer before.
Yeah.
So we didn't have a striker from that point, really.
Yeah, but I think it became.
Did he go the summer before or last summer? I can't remember now. It might be last summer.
No? Yeah. I think that was when it became really obvious. Was in summer. It became very obvious that we needed someone else. I love Havertz. I will defend. It's a hill I'll die on. Elite footballer. Almost everything he does is exceptional. It's just in the moments you want him to do stuff really well that he doesn't quite do it. It's in the finish. He's not an amazing finisher. I think we can all agree on that. But a lot of his movement, his touch, the way he kind of plays is fantastic.
But he's not a striker, is he? He's just
no, and he can't play every game.
Striker.
And it's obvious in certain games that he's not the right player, or that he's been running non-stop, every 3 days for the whole game, and you're going, but what do you change him for? There is no one.
Can I please interrupt you, Callum, and say, like, for me, because as obviously most people know, and I already repeated myself a lot, I was there for the Villa game at home, United game, FA Cup, and then League Cup, obviously Newcastle, as I just mentioned. The man, he's a big lad, taller than me. I don't know about you. Well, I know Sparks taller than me, unfortunately. Sparks, you're a tall man. But yeah, I think he does a lot for the team. Yes, as you say, his scoring ability is not the best, but he does so much more, and yet he goes unnoticed. I usually in the stadium sit there thinking, why do people like to criticize him? Yes, you can say he didn't have, as you say, critically speaking, he didn't have his best game yesterday and the day before. He scored 1 goal, fair enough. But come on now, why would you give the man stick?
But the thing is, though, isn't it, that when he's given that one opportunity that can change a game, that.
Yeah, 1-0? Sorry if I cut you off, but 1-1 when he scored that chance against City.
When we're playing against that low block, and they're not coming out to score, and it's left to us for us to score, he's not clinical enough because he's not striker.
That's true. That's very true. Again,
that is why he gets the abuse that he gets, right?
Abuse he gets, indeed. He does get a lot. I've heard in the stadium before.
Well, there's people that sit behind me, and they're just constantly on him. And it got to the point, actually, and I just told him to shut the hell up. It's just like, mate, if you're trying to improve him, right? A, he can't hear you. And B, if he can hear you, he's getting depressed, right? You're not helping. You're not helping me. So you're definitely not helping him, right? So maybe change a tune, or.
And it frustrates me because he's one of our hardest workers every game. Yeah. Like if there's one thing you can't accuse him of,
he's second in the league for yards covered.
Yeah,
second in the league. Yeah. It's just madness.
It will be like the 95th minute, and he'll sprint the whole length of the pitch to try and make a challenge, like in our half. It's insane.
All right, he does these things where he gets involved where he shouldn't necessarily get involved, and he did it yesterday a couple of times.
I quite like it though, because mostly the other player gets wound up rather than him.
I like it when it's
Yeah.
in the right sort of area, right?
Yeah.
Because it's by the corner flag, it goes unnoticed.
Yeah.
Right. If you're doing that on the edge of the box or even in the box, fair enough, because you're drawing
Yeah.
attention to it. But they're the areas that he should be drawing attention to it. That's the area a striker would draw attention to it.
Yeah.
Not the corner flag where it's going to make no difference whatsoever. So that's why I get a bit upset with that. But he puts so much work in. He's up front. He's on the right wing. He's playing in the 10. He's playing in the 8. He's playing on the left wing. He's just all over the place. So I don't think we need a striker necessarily to replace him. I think we need a striker to help him.
Be a striker. Like we need just like a typical striker, someone who's going to put the ball in the back of the net, who we can change depending on the dynamic of the game between Havertz and someone who's just going to bury it. Like that's what we need. And I also think that, and I think lots of people think, we'll buy a striker and that'll be it. We'll sell Kai, and that's not going to happen. Like Arteta clearly loves him, and he'll just end up in midfield. Like someone else will just lose their position in the team. Like there's no way he doesn't make the team.
Well, the thing is, you've got obviously Partey leaving, you've got Jorginho leaving anyway, so that's not really an issue, is it? And you are literally just going to drop him back. How do you facilitate that then? Do you think that Odegaard drops into the 8 and essentially Havertz does the 10? Because
I think you maybe play Odegaard deeper and have Havertz have a bit more of a free role across behind the strike, because he likes to move around a lot. He can kind of play wherever. He reminds me a little bit of Ozil in that he finds space that other people don't see, and
you are going to trigger people now.
People are going to be really wound up by that.
You're really going to be triggered.
Not the skill.
I nearly said that too, Callum.
That's not even just Arsenal fans. They're going to be triggered by it.
The whole world is going to be angry with that.
You just did it, right?
In one aspect,
Okay.
Oh my God.
Let's see. Anyone there? Nope. No one wrestled yet.
One aspect of his game is the way he finds space, and he will drift into space. The same way he can look like he's uninterested and he's going one way, and then all of a sudden he'll find the run that he finds himself in a ton of space. I think he uses space and watches how the game is developing in a really intelligent way. And I think if he just had a free role to sit behind a striker where he can kind of just do that and they can play off of him, I could see that working. Not in the way we've kind of done it before where he just plays.
I hate to throw up Callum in his first show here in Spurs, but I feel like, for me as well, I do agree with him, with Callum, because I feel like he can be like a Bergkamp Henry level. So you have him as a Bergkamp, as you said, number 10, Callum, and then have the main striker lead the line. So at least he kind of like gives him a bit less pressure to deliver that, final third, shall I say, maneuver without, obviously, okay, I'll say too, like always, for goodness sake, we're football fans, man. Honestly, like, come on. I still got the 2013, 2014 shirt, the away one, when he made the way he made that, what's it called, the Giroud goal against Sunderland, of all people. Because I had to mention Sunderland, excuse me, Newcastle fans, if you're watching this. I had to mention Sunderland. But the fact is, I think he also can be Sparks.
It's all right. They're going to have to use their stadium at some point.
Which will be brilliant.
Yeah. We'll get on to that.
I just hope they come up and give them a little...
But there you go.
I saw Sparks. I saw that already. Don't worry. That's why I backed you up a little bit. I think I backed you up. I think also he'd be like Giroud as well. He can actually play like a main... Oh, by the way, Man City ladies are one up.
It was 4-3.
It's not colder.
Scoring game before, though. It should be on.
Oh, well. Hopefully they make it to the final, but hey. But yeah, I hope I hope Arteta gives him some sort of protein or something, because he's a good-looking lad in terms of how physically he looks imposing, but muscle-wise, he just needs some strength, I think.
This is related to the post that I put out.
Far away. What was that last one? Sorry, not my problem, I think.
How did you not see it?
Northern Gooner.
I was shocked how angry everyone was with you. Like, I don't really know why.
I just literally, it was just such an innocent post, and I was just like, I wasn't trying to trigger anybody. I was just going, I think I might have spotted a problem.
You've ruffled a few feathers in the magpie, no? If I'm correct.
Yeah.
Magpie's a bird, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, but magpie's a bird, isn't it?
It is a bird.
Yeah, thankfully I said that right live on video as well. But yeah, ruffle some few feathers there, Sparks.
I don't understand. For those who don't know, I basically, obviously you won't know, but yeah. If you look at the Telegraph seating, the stadium plan of the proposed stadium of St James's Park, they can call it something else because it's the park that's attached to it. But the stadium kind of is basically overlapping the stadium of St James's Park. So I posted a video. I posted the link, and I just went, I think I spotted a problem. And apparently it caused a problem.
That's not laughing, Karen.
He definitely.
I hope you've seen this, by the way.
It was mental.
Oh my god! I'm trying to see it again. Sorry.
The guy with the Joe Linton image on his profile he was proper triggered. And I was just like,
I don't really know where it came from. Like, it was just about the stadium. It wasn't even like talking about the team.
It was nothing. It was nothing at all. It was just, and even my comments, I was just like, yeah, I didn't say I was a designer. I didn't say I was anything. I just said whatever.
I think my favourite thing in that comment section, though, was someone, a Newcastle fan, saying, "Why are we only building it this size? We would sell out 90 to 100,000 every week, guaranteed." And then another Newcastle fan going, "We really wouldn't."
But so I basically this kind of went on. Exactly that. I don't think he does like me at all. But thanks, Philip. But yeah, it was a bit weird because I was like, well, I haven't said anything wrong, and I've triggered you for some reason, and a lot of people were just saying, well, it's because you don't support Newcastle, right? Okay. So I looked at their posts, and they're talking about the Miles Lewis Skelly celebration. They're talking about this, talking about that, talking about the other. And I was just like,
is it just that Newcastle...
What about this, though?
is it that Newcastle as a team are just such cynical, cheating, frustrating people that seeps into the fan base?
I don't know, but I had a conversation with somebody today, and he was basically saying because they were singing "Same Old Arsenal always cheating" when the review for Offside came, and you're like,
yeah.
What did we do wrong? We played an line, and you were offside. I mean, you literally did that, not me.
The thing that gets me about the whole "Same Old Arsenal always cheat" now, it's banter. Lots of teams do it. I don't even mind with some teams, but Newcastle, every time we've played them in the last few years, cheat their way from minute one to the end. Whether it was a couple of years ago, time waste. It was like the lowest amount of time that a ball had been in play in years or something.
But this is because they were saying, it was like a gust of wind and your players fall over. I said, well, but you're okay with your keeper going down every 2 minutes,
pretending to be injured.
He wants to get treatment, but he never gets any treatment.
Can I interrupt while you're distracted? Did you not see him against the League Cup at home this season? I was like, my God, Dubravka. I know he's Slovakian, and me being Albanian, same borderline country, well, if you know where it is. He listen, ref, look, my hand, he clattered my arm. I'm thinking, you're a man. Karen's box.
Didn't Bruno punch one of our players in the head last season?
Yes, he did. Yes, he absolutely did. Forearm, actually, wasn't it? Forearm, and didn't even get.
Oh yeah. Jesus
Christ. That's okay. Also cheat. Anyway, did Spurs not build 3/4 of the stadium before knocking their old one down? Maybe same logic. Yes, they did. But then they moved to Wembley. They went to Wembley for a season.
The move to Sunderland is going to be beautiful.
So this was kind of my point, and I guess that they kind of got where I was going, because
they go Teesside down Middlesbrough. That'd be funny.
I did say at some point. Yeah, well, I said to start off with, they're not going to Wembley, are they?
Am I checking now, Spurs? Well,
Long
yeah.
trip for home games.
You know, that's a long old trip, right? So they're not going to Wembley, and I guess the bitterness it kind of bubbled up because the realization that they would have to share Sunderland's ground,
Cap in hand.
rent Sunderland's ground. I reckon that's probably what did it. To be fair,
That was the straw that was in there that broke.
yeah. I mean, I did. It was nothing that was kind of premeditated. I mean, I just kept going because they kept going.
Yeah.
You know, I just kind of where it led. It was just like, well, it's kind of not my fault. It's the nearest stadium. But then somebody said that they'd be interested to rent Murrayfield. So like Murrayfield or something. I was like, okay. I mean, that could work. But I mean, it's a rugby stadium, isn't it? Most of it. Is it an actual football stadium or is
The
it?
thing that makes most sense is definitely Sunderland. Like stadium.
Well, to be perfectly honest, right? Because
they ignore the
right. They play their alternate weeks. So you set the schedule up alternate weeks, didn't you?
Yeah.
So as much as it doesn't make sense, it does make sense.
They're just a little bit soft up north.
Well, I mean, to say that they're walking around all hard, you know, off in the cold and all this lot, and I make one comment about a stadium, and the whole of the northeast went. In fact, actually, there was one guy. I can't remember what his name was now, but one Geordie guy, and he went, "I don't get the hate." It's just like. Just made a point. Don't get the hate. And I was like, mate, that's exactly how I'm feeling right now.
I'll tell you what, I do find that, like, amongst Twitter, like football circles on social media, the rage goes from 0 to 10, like, immediately. I said the other day that people said, like, about people were saying, "Oh, Odegaard looks really tired," and I said, "Well, he's just had a baby. He's going to be tired." Like you are, and people just went absolutely in on me. Like I just got hate messages. I was blocked by loads of people.
What was this for?
Having people tagged for saying that Odegaard would look tired.
Oh, it's tired because he had a kid.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I just got savaged, absolutely savaged from all angles, from Arsenal fans, from rival fans, from get him a nanny. What kind of man is he? He gets paid enough to not care about his child. Like just insane stuff. And you're like, how is this? Where we got to from pointing out that might be why he looks tired.
What are you upset about, Northern Gunner? What
I didn't say that as well.
What are you upset about?
As well. Right? What the hell?
I mean, if you got work out from my accent that I'm not from down south, I don't know what you're.
My wife's from up north, so it's all.
I'm a Northern Gunner as well, mate.
I'm near Montenegro, so I'm a Northern Albanian, so definitely can be that. Safe in that book.
There's nothing meant for disrespect, my friend, whatsoever. But I'm Northern myself, so I got nothing against the North. I've got a father-in-law that I'm quarter Scottish, right? And my father-in-law goes off about jocks all the time while I'm sat there. And I'm just like sat watching the rugby, whatever. I do support England, but when England, Scotland, he goes on about it all the time, and I just go, still quarter Scottish, Yeah, doesn't take a blind bit of notice, but so yeah. What's this? Can we discuss how Odie looks? Is that supposed to say old or Oddie?
What did Odegaard know? I think that's what we're trying to say.
Or is it?
I think so.
Who said be soft? He said no. What his meaning is that they got butt hurt very easily.
Very.
That's what it means. That's what it means by that. Very triggered. He might have a point. Yes, I think he might.
Well, talking of Northern topics, and I'll say this then. I mean, without attacking anyone personally in Northern Gunner and anyone else in this podcast, I, for one,
It's like me. I'll just cut you off.
Yeah. Kicked out.
I have the power.
As I was saying, every Northern team, as far as I remember,
Watershed
growing up in
or
this
no
country, hates Arsenal with a passion. Every Northern team I know. As far as I know, every Northern team we play against, just they don't like us.
I have found.
I don't think it has to be Northern or Southern. I mean, I saw.
Or Birmingham, or sorry, Midlands.
Yeah, I mean, I saw Chelsea fans that basically I don't want Arsenal to win. Completely understand that. Completely, you know,
Fine.
it's the England rivalry. Completely understand. You know, even though they're not in it at this point, I completely get it. Right? Liverpool fans, when they're not competing for the title as they are now, I don't really get advocating for City, because our owners are very similar to Liverpool owners who want to do everything on a self-sustaining model.
Yeah.
Basically, doesn't matter how much we pay to have our season tickets, to have our tickets, to just go to the odd match or whatever you're going to do. Doesn't matter how much we pay. They're not interested in that. It's just what they make. They're just not interested. So I would have thought the affinity would. We have no rival with Liverpool apart from. I mean, I say that, and
89.
that shirt.
It depends how far back
That's
you
what I
go.
worry for
Not
that
a very
reason.
good example of what
That's
I'm
why I
trying to
worry
say.
for that reason.
That's the only thing right there
Yeah,
is what we have a rivalry for.
Okay,
That's
I was
it.
born in 88. Colin was born in 88. You can imagine in May 89, I must have been maybe 6 months, 5 months and a half months
Yeah.
with those parts.
Yeah, but it didn't process my point very well, because I was like, yeah, I'm
Hey,
making
who,
this point,
me? Hey,
and
Sparks,
now
who,
I've got
me?
reference that shirt.
Can I go hide it? Look, can I go hide and wear something else? You know, I can go wear something else.
So yeah, we don't really have a rivalry with Liverpool. I don't think. Do you think we have a rivalry with them?
Everyone always seems to pick whatever team we're competing against, even if they're the team that you should all dislike. Like, I've seen United fans wanting City to beat us. Like, it's insane. Like, what is going on that we have that level of hatred against us? Like, it can't. I don't see the logic. Like, there's no way I would ever want any. Like, if Tottenham were going for the league, I would want them to lose, no matter who it was against, whatever the consequences.
I've got a fan. Sorry, I got a fan for once.
Yeah.
Carry on, Callum. Carry on. I'm just getting a bit. I'm
I'll let
getting
you have your moment.
Lost there for a bit. I nearly lost there for a minute.
Yeah,
Which
like,
is your
it's
fan, then?
bizarre. Like, it doesn't
That-
seem to matter who we're against. Like, sworn enemies will support.
Never seen in
each
my
other
life. I don't know if
against
she is
us.
about this, Brooks. Never seen in my life. We have the same initials, but hey, I don't know if she is.
Okay. Go on, Cal. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
No,
carry on. Sorry, Cal.
Even people who are sworn rivals who should really kind of go for each other just purely want Arsenal to lose in every situation where there's a possibility for it. I blame the fans on X for this hatred. Like, but I think there's something to that. Like, there is an element of Arsenal fans who are like militantly aggressive with people on social media and go off really quickly one way or the other. Like, one game we are the best team that has ever played football, and the next game, like, we may as well get relegated and sell everyone and, you know, sell the stadium and go and support Barcelona. Like,
This is true, right? And I'm going to stop you purely because you've run into something that I've seen on my timeline like today, and I don't know if he's here and watching, but he thinks we need 9 new players. 9.
Wait, do I know this guy as well, by the way? What the hell is he on about?
Jelly something or other. I can't remember the name.
If it's Jelly, then that's a topic for another day. That's
Yeah.
what
3 or 4 players. That's it. 3 or
I
4.
think we might need 5.
Not the whole
Striker,
squad, man. Not the whole squad.
striker, winger option.
Yeah.
Goalkeeper.
No, some kind of other attacking midfielder, and that can be someone young, but we need someone.
A right centre back.
Yeah.
And
That's
yeah, another centre back option, just because they're all made of glass. Otherwise, I think.
Well, we don't have anything on the everybody's left sided really, aren't they? So you basically got.
Well, not if because you've got White or Timber or
Well,
Tomiyasu.
Yeah,
can all
Tomiyasu going to go anyway, isn't he? Because he is made of glass.
Yeah, I think that's the only reason why. If he was fit, I don't think you need someone because I think he's a really high quality player. He just isn't.
Yeah, I agree with that, but he is never fit, is he?
No. So with him, it's like a one in, one out situation. Likewise in midfield, if with Jorginho and probably Partey going, you do need to bring someone in, but Zubamendi looks like that's probably what's happening there.
I hate to interrupt you, but Jorginho has a 1-year contract for next season.
What?
Does he?
Yeah, he already has a contract for next season. I don't know. Next season, he's still.
No, I think there's rumours he might go off to Brazil, isn't there?
Fair enough. I'll stand corrected then.
Yeah, but because I do think that he will probably go, and I think that if Partey goes, but if Zubamendi is there, that's fine.
Yeah.
Attacking midfielder, I'd be happy with someone like Nipan, someone up and coming, who is can learn. That's fine. I don't really mind that as long as there's someone else who can play that role.
And what about bringing Vieira back for a season?
That's what I say to that.
Just purely for numbers, because obviously we're not going to get 5 players, are we? Let's be real about it.
It depends, because if for example, if the little Norwegian wonder kid did choose to come for us, that's like 10 million. It's cheap. He's ready to come in and do a backup option in the first team. So I think we could do that alongside.
So you put him straight in and he's backup. He's basically Nwaneri. He's Lewis Skelly, whatever it is.
Yeah, straight into the team, ready to go, ready to be one of those breakthrough young players filling a gap.
Okay, so he comes from a different league, and he's just literally just going to walk in, say, "I run the show."
He's not going to run the show. He's going to be a backup. But I think when we're playing
cup games, for example,
cup games, I think he plays. I think if you get teams where we're totally dominating possession, and so you just need someone who's got some quick feet, who's a bit creative, who's going to try something different, like you get with kind of young talented players. You throw him in and he covers that so that it doesn't have to just be Odegaard every single game, every minute, because he's like our only.
So do you agree with this, that we have 5 outgoings minimum in the summer?
I agree with it. I agree.
I mean, we've got 2 automatically, right?
Jorginho and Partey, because it doesn't look like he's being offered a new deal. There was talk that he might be, but he'd have to take such a big pay cut, I think, to stay. That
I would halve it, to be honest.
Yeah, I can't see him. Because I think he'd get paid more somewhere else than what we'd be willing to.
He wants a 3-year deal up at Highheard as well, so he ain't getting that, is he?
No,
not a chance.
I just don't think there's any chance of that. So they're probably going. I don't think Jesus is going anywhere because I think he'll still be injured and no one will buy him. So I think we will still have him for a portion of next season before we can get to the
maybe
point.
A January window, potentially Saudi.
Yeah, maybe something partway through. Yeah, but I don't think we can easily get rid of him. Who else is there that we're thinking definitely goes? I mean, we're definitely losing Tierney. We're definitely Zinchenko's probably gone. I think
Zinchenko we might get a bit of money for Tomiyasu.
I think they'll keep Tomiyasu. I think that Arteta really likes him. I think they'll take a punt on him because they only gave him the shorter deal last time around because of his fitness.
2 years, didn't he? He got 2 years.
Yeah. So I think if by the end of the season he's fit and he's training well, I think they'll take a punt on him staying fit. If he gets another injury and is looking awful, then he might just be gone.
Yeah. So Northern Gunners saying Zinni, Jesus, Kivior, Sterling, and Neto.
Yeah.
Well, Sterling and Neto are our players, so I don't think we consider those leaving as such.
And I think Sterling gets replaced by if we're bringing in a winger. I think that covers that because I think Nwaneri has shown that he can be a winger backup rather than just a central player. So I think if we get someone else in who's actually at an elite level, I don't think Martinelli or Trossard are going anywhere. I think that gives us options there. So I think 1 in, 1 out with Sterling. Neto, 1 in, 1 out.
You don't see Trossard going?
No.
Not yet, I don't think. I think he's
essential. I think there's potential. If we get another winger, I think there's potential that that maybe he gets rid of Trossard.
I don't know. I think that leaves us short again because Trossard.
Well, no, because you've obviously got your new winger,
Yeah.
and then you've got Ranieri. Ranieri, he can play both sides anyway. Martinelli could do the same.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Maybe Trossard. I mean, if the right money comes in, he might go because he's not getting any younger. He's not going to get any better than he is. I don't think he's a useful player. But I don't know.
Despite the big eyeballs that he has left, poor guy sleeps as nice as I call him.
Yeah.
Bless his heart. I mean, he's younger than me and he's older than me. I feel bad for him. Honestly, I see that. Literally, I see the eyeballs thing. Oh, sorry, eye bags. I say eyeballs, eye bags. I think, man, have some sleep. So a power nap, more like.
Also need a solid left back with left wing and a top striker. I mean, the left back, I think we're all right with.
Is that main topic? That last word.
Yeah, I'll get there. But yeah, we do need the striker and the left winger. I think I'd completely agree with that.
I think they have to be done. Those two deals above anything else. If we don't get them in, we're asking for the project to stall. Like, we're not going to go any further than we are without refreshing our attacking dynamic.
Okay, before I do go through the rest of the chats, because there are obviously chats coming in. But do you think the project is still viable? Do you think it's still a project, or it's what do you consider it to be now?
Yeah, I think it's still a project. I think we've essentially rebuilt a squad from nothing. We had the ashes of what was left over of a squad that we've had to kind of pick apart and turn into the squad we have now. We've built a squad that is clearly the best of the rest, but isn't quite at the
I'm leaving Sparks. I'm giving myself yellow card. Time out. Time out. I'm leaving already. I'm leaving, man.
Yeah. Garge has got a picture of Garnacho, I believe it is. So
not for long, he won't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was saying. I just realized this is Garnacho that blood frock.
He will, because he's staying forever.
No one's buying him. But we thought that no one would,
especially not for that money anyway. Yeah, but they need to be replaced because we aren't keeping them off what we've seen. Yeah.
But
yeah, carry on, Callum.
The ages though of this squad, everyone's still, the vast majority of the players are still young. There's the odd kind of older player propping up the squad, but the kind of core of our team are all young enough to play together for another handful of years at the kind of top level. But we need those players who are going to turn it into a winning team, like with the real difference makers, and that's why I think it needs to be. That's why I think it's.
I mean, I rate it. Your club's in the mud, and you're still trolling us. So yeah.
I was going to say, what team does Philip support anyway?
He's a United fan, and I'm trolled more by United fans than any other fan base.
That's why they're coming after you.
The thing is, I completely get it, because obviously they're in still a downward spiral, and they've won a couple of trophies, so they can still say it. We can still, take crap for this because we haven't.
They did manage to win something,
and we have to get to a point where we go, well, something's wrong. What needs fixing?
But for me, it's about the club being willing to take that step. They need to be willing to.
Sorry, Callum. Bloody hell, man! Oh God.
The comments are brilliant today.
It's about Callum, it says. It's all about you. Sorry, I don't want to sing myself.
No, don't do that. The weather's fine here. We don't need it to rain.
Okay, fair point.
Yeah,
sorry, Callum, go on.
For me, it's about the club being willing to take that step. Like we saw it before in the Arsene Wenger years over and over again, where we would build a squad that was very good and was just below the level they needed to be to win something. And you'd go, we're one or two players. We're just where we need to be to do this. And then we'd sign no one or Petr Cech. And we'd fall away.
Why did you have to do that?
Yeah, why? I like them at Chelsea, but not at Arsenal, man.
Because this is what happens. We get that close, and then the club go, but we are top four. We are making the money. We are kind of, and they're willing to like hope from that platform that we get a trophy. They don't do what some of the big spending clubs do, where they go, now let's drive it home, and let's win something. Let's do this. We're just there. Let's get that player that's going to make the difference. And I think the Cronkies, they kind of said, we're going to be those owners. I think Josh came out, be excited. We're going to kind of go for this. And the last two windows have been underwhelming, to say the least. But we're still in a position where all of our injuries, all of the kind of problems we've had this season, we're still the best of the rest. We're still 6 points off Liverpool. We're still third in the Champions League. We're just below the level to win things. So the project's still fine, but we have to spend the money and get the players we need to make it into a winning team and not just rest at that level.
Does that show how good we are, though, or how bad everybody else is?
Well, I think how good we are, because we've done it 3 years in a row. You can't just say everyone fell off for 3 years.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
If it was just 1 year,
I'm not trying to trip you up. I'm just after your take on it, because I have my own, but obviously it's not about me. So yeah.
Yeah, I think if it was one season, I'd be going.
Apparently, it's all about you, Callum, because they're all your own. Yeah.
Wow, that's a big.
Yeah, Northern Gunner has got some burn marks on his fingers from typing that. I think we're at a phase in the project where players that were originally brought in to improve our level are becoming the bottom of the ability pool. Experienced players coming towards the end, or also players who haven't worked. Completely agree with that, and I don't think any of us could disagree with that.
Yeah,
and instead of doing the stepping stone of a player, we should be going for a step up starter that supersedes somebody that's on the pitch already, that pushes them down, that pushes them to fight to get their place back, which brings the level up in that position, shouldn't we?
Well, I think we did that sort of from Arteta arriving. We did that year on year. We've kind of gone, what's the next level of player we can get that is interested in coming to us where we are now, and then we'll be the kind and that will step us up. And we did it with Zinchenko and Jesus. They took us up a level. They took us from you're not quite managing to get there to, okay, your top four standard. They now can't get into the team because we've moved up to players like, and people won't like it, Havertz and Ødegaard, and players who have lifted us to being a team that competes. Now we need to look at who are the players that make us a team that wins. How do we do that?
Over the line again.
Yeah.
Because I personally, I don't think that's on the manager. I think that's on the recruitment.
Yeah.
Now, granted, there will be times where he's asked for players, but you can tell the difference, can't you, in the players that are his signings and the players that are bought in for him as a kind of last resort, that kind of thing. Your likes of Vieiras and stuff like that they're not his signings, are they? Havertz is clearly his signing. I've got no problem with that. But
I think
did he?
Edu had his mates at different clubs, and when they thought there was a player who was good, I think he would try and convince Arteta that this is the player you want for the project, as opposed to Arteta saying, these are the exact players I want. I'm sure Arteta's a very opinionated person. I'm sure he would have said, this is what I think would work, but I don't think
he brought in the other right Brazilian, didn't he, to do the same that Martinelli did, and it's like,
didn't work.
Yeah, please don't do that again.
But Marquinhos, isn't it? Marquinhos was signed, and I think he's just disappeared now, and someone on loan again.
Yeah, 3 years on loan now, isn't he?
He's the hell? Like, just I'm going to say, but get rid of him. If you don't want him, just get rid of him, for God's sake.
So apparently you're in the boardroom, Callum. The sporting director.
I'll be the scout, and I'll be the scout.
This will be because on X, I've gone through and done profiles of each of the people who have been linked to the sporting director role.
Right.
and kind of who's been linked, why they've been linked, and what's sort of going on there. And the reason I did that is because so many fans think Arteta is the be all and end all of everything that happens at the club, and why didn't he sign someone? Why
Even
didn't he?
Arsenal fans, by the way, that's not
Yeah,
just
all Arsenal. It's mostly
Yeah.
Arsenal fans.
Yeah.
Why didn't he do this? Why didn't he do that? And I sort of wanted to shine a spotlight on the fact that there is an entire
network.
corporate world behind the scenes running a multi-million-pound organization.
Yeah,
and
and run
Arteta,
by lawyers as well.
yeah, and Arteta neither has the ability. That's not his skill set. He's a football player. How many contracts do you think he's negotiated? How many signings? That's not who he is. He's a football man behind the scenes. And you've got kind of Jason Ito at the moment, who's currently covering the job. I was kind of hoping he'd announce himself on the scene with a big January signing, which might be overly ambitious. But there's noise that supposedly the club like him because he's a stats man. So he's all about what are the statistics. He was like an analyst for 10 years. And a lot of what he does is the American style. Look at the analytics company that we bought, for example. You look at the data and figure out who has the most X, who has the most Y. Why would that fit in the role we want? And I think the club, in a very American way, love that style of recruitment. So I think they might give him the job. But I don't know how well that will go down after a window where we signed no one when he was first put in charge. But he's been working with Edu for a while. So
he was his assistant, wasn't he?
Yeah. So I think he can maybe take some of the blame for the signings before as well.
Yeah, I think so. Guys, if you are in here, please make sure you're liking and subscribing and putting the bell notification on for the channel. Much appreciated as well. While you're obviously the numbers are going up, so you obviously are enjoying what you're watching. So yeah, please make sure you're liking. But yeah, I just wanted to leave this up because I completely agree with this. I don't know what you guys think, but I completely agree with this. I think it's one of if we don't get who we want this summer, do you see the fans kind of starting to turn?
Yeah, I think the patience.
It's running, isn't it?
Yeah, people have been really excited, and that's kind of lasted for a certain amount of time, and some of the wind has gone out of that. Despite, as I say, the position is nowhere near as bad as people make it out to be, but some of the enthusiasm is going. And I think if we had another window where we got Sterling loan type signings, I think that the feeling towards the club would start to change, and I think they'd then start to struggle. And what I don't want to see is that pressure all ending up on Arteta, because I don't think he's the issue. And I think given the right players, I think he's incredibly intelligent when it comes to football and understanding how things work and what's going to kind of happen. I think basically any player who's played with him talks up about how he sees the game in a different way. And I don't think there are lots of managers like that. Lots of people are man managers, or they're different kind of styles. And I think he's a proper football man. And I think if you get him the right players, he succeeds. So I hope the frustration when it comes, if we don't succeed in summer, goes in the right direction.
Rather than it's directed at Arteta, is what you
Yeah.
say. Yeah. Would you agree with that, Bez? What's your take on that?
No, I totally do. Arteta's got good football in mind rather than brain. Because people think his brain sometimes is a bit too big for his own good. I, for one, do want him to be able to, yes, contribute to, say, what player he wants, not like somewhere clear and sale, shall we say, because as you know, in the past we saw players for that cut price, just to get rid of them, and you know very well which bunch, which I don't want to dwell into that now in the past, but for us, I feel like we need to, for once, and I say this, I hope I'm wording this right tonight, I want us to be able to put the foot down and say to these so-called, other teams, we are Arsenal, we mean business. Yes, we have to clear out some players like the Deadwood. I think we said that last season together when I met you first time at the end of the 23-24 season, just get rid of some Deadwood, There's players out there clearly in this club, without saying who, because quite a few of them, just get rid of them. But at the same time, is not just for the sake of letting them go, but also buy players who clearly are there to fight for the shirt. And I'm sure I said this before. The young players out there who care to play for this team. Don't just sign any player who's got a big head or who's got a big ego, who just comes in the club and just says to the fans, you know what, I'll do it my way. Like, I'm sorry to say, but Alexis Sanchez, I loved him very much, but the way he treated us as Arsenal fans, that was disgusting. So for me, I don't want the players to be a drama queen. I do want a player who cares to play for this team that we all love. That team brings us together as one. But I, for one as well, I want the manager to have a bit of input from his side to say to the owners and the so-called covering sport director, as Callum alluded to say to him, I want this and this and this. I want this guy to go. I want this guy to go. So to come and go. But surely as well, let's see the bigger picture. So put the foot down and say, let's make the business early. Don't leave it so bloody late. Otherwise, we're going to suffer again. And then obviously, you guys said as well, we're going to start making noise. We have the right to make noise because we support this team. We buy the merchandise. We buy the tickets. We're there day in, day out when it's cold, freezing weather, as you know. Even on Sundays, Spurs. It wasn't the most warmest time to be around Arsenal area, but it still shows a full house. But at the same time, something has to change, and surely, hopefully, lessons have been learned or be learned as we go along.
Well, but that's why it's a big test, isn't it? Because
of course it is. Sparks, you know me very well now in person as well. You know me very well. I can be very vocal. I can be very optimistic. I can be maybe with a hater sometimes. I can maybe roundabout. But there's no way I'm going to say, oh, Arteta, our brigade. I'm not going to do that, horn. Maybe not just yet, but obviously, but I'm not that type of fan to just say, oh, let's jump on the bandwagon and just say Arteta out, shall we? I still believe this is still a project, but the project needs to be constructed the right way. Like when you're building a brick house, you build it up. Rather than you break what you just done, Arteta needs to keep going. If it doesn't keep going, then for me, sooner or later, he will probably think himself he has to move on and get someone else who's a bit of bigger, better person as a manager, as we know.
Yeah, for sure.
You get what I mean? I don't want to dwell in too much, but you know what I mean.
No, I completely get you, and it's the same for me, to be honest. And I haven't run out of patience, but I'm getting there.
Same.
I'm getting to that point, and it's just like. And I don't blame Arteta, actually. I blame Arteta for some of the results that we've had where he hasn't necessarily adapted properly. I blame him for that. And
that's a good question. Sorry, that's a good question though. I'm
getting to that.
Sorry.
But, yeah. So let me just finish this piece and then we get on that. But I don't think he's faultless, but I don't think it's all on him. I know he does have an input on the players. Ins and outs, but he's not the be all and end all. And at the end of the day, he has brought in. They have brought in players that he's just had to work with, and he's not necessarily being convinced about them, obviously. But there we go. Why wasn't Osimhen or Šeško bought? If you really wanted to challenge for the title, who wants to go first?
Yeah, I mean, it's not.
I could go all night.
I say it's not same as well. Same as well.
There were other possible strikers as well. It wasn't just the two of them. There's a handful of either elite or potentially elite strikers that could go for a figure that we could pay because we didn't spend the money that we could have in the summer, and the club have chosen not to on this kind of idea that in the summer there's this, this wave of something special that's going to happen. And I think they've created a rod for their own back, because if they bought Watkins, people would have gone, okay, then that was what was available and we kind of done this. And then if it didn't work out, I don't think anyone would have been annoyed. By not going for someone, summer has to be big. Because
do you think do you think what they did with Watkins was reasonable? Do you think what's your take on Watkins' situation?
There's one of two things that happened. They either made a bid they knew would not be accepted so they could say they tried because it was good PR, or they just thought that Villa didn't actually want that much and thought it was, for his age, and that he would want a move to us and that he'd agitate for it. And I imagine behind the scenes he tried to go for it. He's an Arsenal fan. He will have known that was his one chance at getting that move. They maybe thought that pressure might be enough. Villa have brought in all kinds of forward players in the window. Like, I've not seen anything like it.
No, mad, isn't it?
And so maybe they thought there's room there for that to happen, but they weren't willing to. They clearly didn't value him at enough money that he's clearly not their target. In the summer, it's clearly not Watkins they're going for. That was if we can get him on the cheap, we'll do it. But otherwise,
yeah, I'm not sure about the actual reasoning behind it, but it kind of does look like it was a PR stunt, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm not going to say it is, but it could have been.
Well, why wouldn't you bid again?
I'll say this too then. I'm sorry, but I'll say this too as well. He loves playing against us as well. Every time he plays against us, he's bloody scores, no?
It's because he's desperate to play for us.
It's an audition every time he plays, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. How many auditions did he pass?
Exactly, yeah. But I got to the point and I was like, I'd have loved to have Watkins, but I think 60 million was too much. But then to then bid 40 million, I think it's a bit ridiculous. If you're gonna bid, and they've said 60 million, maybe if you put 50 million in, they're seriously considering it.
Unless they thought we'll go in at 40 and they'll realise there's a genuine chance of selling him, and they might come back with something. They're putting 60 because they think it's Arsenal. We need a striker, and genuinely thought they were trying to play us, and then went, I know they're being serious. We're not playing that. Let's walk away from this.
Yeah, so maybe it was something like that. I don't know exactly, but yeah.
But I think it sets us up to. It has to go well in summer.
Yeah, I really think it's starting to get to that point where it's got to go well in the summer, and if it doesn't, then I think I don't think all fans will turn, but I think you're going to be looking at a good quarter of the fan base is going to start.
It will start being noticeable.
Yeah, is the silent minority will become a lot more vocal, I think.
Mm.
A young spine are now coming into the prime. Saka, Saliba, Gabriel, Odegaard. It's now a case of supporting them with better players. Any player in the current squad need to be the ones fighting. Said before. Well, that's the thing. But if they're not getting supported with players, then how long is it before they start wanting to leave to go to other clubs that have got more ambition?
Yeah, I think if we try and it doesn't work, they will stay. I think if it feels like we're not going to try, they will go. Like some of our players are genuinely like elite level, could play at the best teams.
Yeah,
and choosing to be at Arsenal.
Yeah,
and we've seen it before over the years with your Fabregases and your Van Persies and players who love the club and what they wanted was for us to spend money and win titles with us. Ran out of patience and left. And we don't want this group. I don't think they're there yet, but we don't want them to hit that point where they do get to that point.
No,
beside the snakes, but we might beside the snake because I know we just see as a year of snake in Chinese zodiac, but unfortunately, in my time being an Arsenal fan since late 2003, I haven't counted so many snakes. I realized, I couldn't grow affection to these players so much anymore. Like as far as you know me, I can never put a name at the back.
I wonder where you were going then. I wonder where you were going then.
No, I'll continue. So basically, I'm saying I can't. I just realized what you said, Sparks. I can't put a name of a player back on my shirt just yet without realizing this player will be somehow have a legacy of this team. Okay, not be a legend quite like Dennis Bergkamp or Henry or Dier or the Lundberg's type or I can waffle all day if I could. But basically, I feel like you know what I'm talking about on Sunday face to face. But anyway, basically, I feel like I feel like I can't just get a certain man. But then I see I'll say that I've seen this shirt around the stadium when I went this season. People are wearing the same Henry with his shirt. I was like, but Henry don't play with his shirt, you plum. Why would you wear Henry with his shirt? I think Henry was like
one of them with Erdegaard on the back of it going around.
Yeah, 15. You've seen it too, right? I'm sure. I'm thinking, why would you wear an 89 shirt with Henry at the back? Just for me, it's just thinking. Henry didn't play with his shirt. Okay, I get he's a legend, but he didn't play with his shirt. And it gets much worse,
at least have it factually correct.
Well, yeah, Rice number 9. There you go. We put Rice as number 9, and then put Rice number 9 and get 41 for Havertz. I don't know.
Oh Jesus! They're completely different.
Before I say anything else more rudely, because I can't say anything on the live video. But I'm not Alan Brazil, by the way. Alan Brazil is another.
God! What was he ranting about? Jesus!
I need to watch this video from start to finish to understand this man's POV.
Yeah,
basically.
that'll wind you up. That one.
I already has. That's why I'm doing this in my head. Thinking, come on, man. You imagine it was me, right? That job. I would love to be doing the job, but not freaking have a go at one of these.
Dinosaur. He might get sacked for that, you know.
Well, was it Andy Gray said to the lady, "Tuck my shirt in, why don't you?" I'm like, who are you to talk to a lady like, mate? Disgusting.
DK says the money spent on both Havertz and Rice to find out both couldn't suit their roles they were signed for. Havertz from left-sided midfielder to be number 9. Rice not available to perform as a pivot. Rice can perform as a pivot.
I'm confused. There's no even comma. There's no full stop.
I think Rice can pretty much play anywhere in midfield.
Yeah, he can play as a pivot. I don't exactly know what you're watching, to be honest. Havertz, I can understand you being disgruntled about that Havertz signing, because he's now playing a role that he wasn't bought for. But the Rice thing, he hasn't hit his form of last season, in my opinion. But he can.
I don't think anyone has, though. Really,
no.
I don't think anyone's got into their stride this season properly.
No,
I mean, they're not as bad as they're made out to be. If you look at the stats, I mean, Rice's chance creation is really good this season, which is something that people said he couldn't do.
Isn't he like 4th in the league or something? And
yeah, he's doing really well.
He's played the 6 and the 8 as well.
Yeah, so players aren't playing badly, but I don't think any of them have got into the swagger that they have over the last couple of years.
And also, when he played a couple of games as well, he was in the centre and kind of filling in for when Partey was playing right back.
Yeah.
And he's had a couple of games injured.
Like everyone in the team.
And he had a ban. So, yeah. We'll put it up just for the banter, but there we go.
So many times.
I'll shut up. Does it help? No, I'll shut up.
Apart from the
no.
Completely agree. GK, I don't know whose games you're watching. Maybe you need to try watching Arsenal games, possibly.
I'll be right back, but I need to show these two sparkly. I need to get these out just for the sake of this stay humble business.
Yeah, we're still going with that. What we got there? I don't think the other fans realise how bad the squad was.
Sorry, just for the sake of laughter, I got these old library cards, by the way.
They were?
Guys, just no cards. It's like referee cards, I know.
Oh, God.
Yellow and red.
So that if anyone will be ejected or a red card, fire away.
We'll add those to the channel.
And Sparks, and he worked wonders.
Yeah, we'll add those to the channel. Yeah, we'll
I'll keep them on standby next time.
we'll add those to the channel. Yes. So yeah,
they're not part of
like Northern Gun says.
By the way, but hey,
we don't realise how bad the squad was.
I completely agree with that. I think so many people forget what Arteta started with, and then look at what we have now. And the only reason we're annoyed now is because we're not doing things that we wouldn't have dreamed we were going to be doing.
I think conveniently forget as well, don't you? I mean, it's just like it's a stick to beat him with a little bit.
Yeah.
Do you believe Arsenal will win a trophy this season? And what happens if you go trophyless again? Go on, Bez. You start with that one.
You see what just did.
Don't go around the houses, though. Just answer the question.
I will.
You don't normally.
Excuse me.
Talk about somebody with a shirt in the ground. That just point it out.
All right. So there's 2 questions there. So I'll answer them both for you, shall I?
That's the
I'll say this: we can go for it, and let's hope not go trophyless. No, I don't want to go trophyless. Trophy.
So
But
you
go
say yes, we can.
trophyless, and farm day. Unless you want to buy a trumpet for my birthday, be like, yes, do Arteta out. That's what they want me to say. Or a trombone or a tuba. I don't know.
Oh,
Or
God.
saxophone, more like.
Can you be on any more random tonight? What's what is wrong with you tonight? Jesus Christ.
Is that bad or a good thing? I don't know.
I don't know. I've completely lost the plot now.
Well, I'm thinking about Sunday too much. That's the problem. I'm thinking about Sunday too much in my head.
Yeah. Callum, please save the stream.
Yeah. Do I believe we will win a trophy? I don't know, because barely anyone actually does win a trophy. Like, if you look at the history of each trophy, Man City essentially win them all, and occasionally someone else gets one. Do I think we can win a trophy? Yes. I do think we've got an outside chance in the Champions League. If the draw falls nicely, if you look at the way it's set up, you can get a very easy draw still through to the final. And I say easy, it's Europe, so you never know. But you can get teams that you would think we have a good chance against all the way through to the final. Or you can play all of the heavy hitters in a row. The new format doesn't save you from kind of either outcome. But if we get a good draw, why not? Worse teams have won it. Worse teams have won it than we are.
That is true. That is true. But you need a hell of a lot of luck. And I don't think we've had any luck this season, have we?
Maybe we get some now. We've had none so far. Maybe it's time, for a little bit of it.
Saving all the luck for the Champions League.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. There was a poster put up there, still no UCL, because it's the original.
Yeah.
The unoriginal original.
Yeah.
And you're like, Jesus, do you think we're not sick of it? Do you not think we've heard it like a million times?
Yeah, it's. I do think we have a chance at it. Like, I don't think we're likely to win it. I wouldn't put money on us winning it.
No,
but I do think we have an outside chance of winning it. I think we should take it seriously. And in the league, yes, they've got a game in hand, but it's 6 points to Liverpool. At some point, as I say, a lot of stuff is luck at this level of the game. Like, if a couple of injuries, Salah goes down with a hamstring that keeps him out for a month. They have three poor results in a row. All of a sudden, the league challenge is on. If you look back at last year, Liverpool were 5 points clear, 8 points clear, something like that. Coming up to like 10 games before the end of the season, they finished third. It can so easily turn in 2 or 3 results where things don't go your way. That all we have to do is just be there, stay with them, stay as close as we can, and see if they just storm it. Then fair enough, good winners.
At this point, it's out of our hands, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're relying on them dropping points, and I'm not sure that I see them dropping 3 wins.
If let's say we beat them in one of those games, then it's 2 games. That's if we can control that. That's something that's in our hands to win the title, is beating them at their ground. That means in 2 games they need to lose.
Yeah.
Outside of other results kind of happening. And earlier in the season, I was sure it would happen. I watched Liverpool a few times and I thought they're getting results, but they don't look very good. They just have Salah digging them out over and over again. They've now actually started to get into a bit of a rhythm and started to look a bit better. And I'm not as confident that will happen. But again, things change quickly. Look at our season, where the last couple of seasons, we've often been brilliant for like 90% of the season. And then we'll get 3 bad results in a row that totally changes what's happening for us. We'll have a little blip and it's not 1 game and then 1 game 10 games later. It's 2 or 3 games in a row. We mess up and then we're back to being on a fantastic run. We just need Liverpool to do the same thing that we've done for the last couple of years.
Okay, no. Oh, this is where our RVP was overpriced, he said.
He was cheap as anything. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
That still hurts.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And he's still a snake.
No comment. No
He's
comment.
still an absolute snake for that. Yeah, that's where I do relate his comment.
Yeah.
We paid that price because Fergie knew he'd score goals. However, based on all the seasons before, he would pay that for an injury-prone striker who couldn't train as often as the rest of the team. He said he was going to be there for 3 years as well, so he lied to him to get him.
Yeah.
He obviously saw the value in it. Yes, Liverpool are 1-0 up, and Gakpo scored with Salah assist. So it's 1-1 on aggregate.
Good. I want Liverpool to win the League Cup now. It can't be Tottenham and Newcastle. I just despise at the moment.
To be honest with you, I don't care between Liverpool and Newcastle at all. Somebody said, right, and this is mad. This is mad, and it could only come from one of those two clubs, right? He said it would be the ultimate face-off, with it being Newcastle and Tottenham. Basically, his logic was that Newcastle haven't won something for 60 years and Tottenham haven't won something for 17 years. So it's the battle of the underdogs or whatever he called it.
I think they call it Battle of the Mid. I believe that is.
Right, well, that's what I thought. That's exactly what I was like. What is just a mid-off then?
Yeah. Not really sure that anyone needs to see that game.
Surely, if that was the case, you'd want, I don't know, blowing somebody that's going to get relegated, for example.
Wigan. You want a Wigan story?
A Wigan story, or Portsmouth, didn't they? Portsmouth did it, didn't they?
Yeah, I remember those seasons.
You want that kind of story, don't you? Rather than a Tottenham or whatever. Somebody that hasn't won it before at all.
I know that Newcastle haven't won anything in a long time, but I don't know that a Saudi-backed team can be seen as an underdog story coming through. Yay, they're winning. All I see is the beginning of the Man
thing,
City
isn't it? This is the other thing. Howe doesn't get any criticism, really, does he? When you consider
Never
the criticism that Arteta gets, and all right, he hasn't spent as much as Arteta has, but
he's got a great side though, and have they underperformed?
Yeah, but and this is the same thing. Got beaten by Bournemouth at home 4-1 or 4-0 as it was a score a couple of weeks
Bournemouth
back.
beat us as well.
And
yeah, well, 4-1 at Newcastle. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
yeah, that's very true. The cherries pop their cherries and all that kind of thing. If I can say that enough, far before the watershed.
So yeah, we've done it now. It's too late.
I've done it now.
There's no way back now. I've got to put no bleep. I have got a bleep, but I haven't put it on. So
well, the cherry is gone now. So
go on, Khalid.
That's oh God, there it is.
Does it actually work?
Yeah.
Well, it got.
So next time, tell me you're going to do it, and I'll do that.
Yeah, I'll do the thief with cherry. See you next Tuesday.
Khalid said, in the league, I'm not that confident, but in the Champions League with Saka back, I can see us winning it. Yeah, I mean, Saka potentially coming back at the end of March.
If we get a decent early draws, Saka back, feeling fresh, something to prove. He's a moments player.
He is a moments player, but is he going to come back all guns blazing, as it were? He's going to need to take time to get back in, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so. I think being realistic, I don't think we can have huge expectations of what he's going to do this season. I think it might take him a while. He's been out for a while. He's not been out for a couple of weeks. It's going to take him getting back up to speed. Even just to match fitness is going to take a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we're forgetting we're forgetting the Dubai trip as well now. Coming in.
Yeah, we had this discussion about the Dubai trip, and I feel a little bit differently about it than Karen does. But there you go. Well, I mean, invariably we should be playing an FA Cup game, and we're not. We're in Dubai, so it's not a celebration for me. But
let's see how we play when they're back.
Yeah, well,
Circle back round to this, and if after Dubai we go on like a 10-game winning run, you can agree you're wrong.
it doesn't matter what we do. It doesn't matter what we do.
So Leicester City away 12th, 30, 15th of February. Wow. Whew.
Yeah, so it's 10 days, isn't it?
Yeah, 10 days starting today. That
Yeah.
makes sense. I think.
They
Yeah,
didn't
that's
invite me. I could have gone for a 10-day break.
right. Yeah.
I could really have done with it, to be fair. GK says it's not. Sometimes it's not the owners, especially when they hire staff, that's supposed to know and run a business. Yes, I'd agree with that. However, nothing seemed to happen until Josh arrived in the stadium, and then a fake, a lowball bid arrived, and then nothing else happened after that. Funnily enough, after he left. So, is he just calling the shots on everything? That's the problem. We don't know, do we? We can only surmise. But I can tell you that if the summer happens and we don't show some ambition in it, I for one am going to be not very happy. Not very happy at all. But
I think it'll be interesting to see if we actually go for a different sporting director. If we go for someone who is proven elsewhere as someone who's going to be a very different opinions, because at the moment we're very unified, but everyone says yes, and we do a lot of promoting from within. Like if you look at the hierarchy, a lot of them,
Garlic and all that, Lewis and whatever, they've all been a lot
of backslapping, a lot of stepping up through the ranks themselves, which is brilliant. It's good to have that kind of unity, and that
keeps the familiarity, doesn't it? Yeah. They all know how everybody works and whatnot.
Yeah, but will we try to get something fresh in a role where the job is about freshening things up, or will we get?
I feel sometimes I think that some of it is kind of down to when we had Sanlehi, and he kind of stitched up the club for his own personal gain, because I don't know if you guys know, but the Pepe deal was basically more or less signed. It was more or less signed for 45 million euros, and then it ended up for 72 million quid.
Split in three parts, right? If I'm correct.
Well,
some of the money was not going to the club; it was being
it wasn't going to the club. So Sanlehi took money for himself, and out of that money he gave Jorge money as well.
Yeah, I think it was a fingers burnt moment. They thought they were being really ambitious, the club, I think, and they totally changed the structure. It was like, oh look, we've got it was all about Arsene Wenger's had too much control, and we're going to start doing things differently.
It was taking control back, wasn't it? It was basically taking control back at the club.
Yeah,
and we got Sanlehi, obviously a big name, and
it was bad appointment. So I think I do think that's where some of the caution comes from.
So we had. I heard that Sven got some of that as well. So and that wouldn't surprise me at all, because he was the director of football or whatever at the time, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Scout or whatever.
Is that the one who bought Aubameyang in, isn't it? The German fellow, if I'm correct. Okay.
Yes, he did, didn't he?
Yeah, I recall
because
now.
he'd been at
Dortmund himself.
Had this fantastic run of signings.
Yeah.
When we got him, it was like, oh my god, I can't believe we've got this guy, and it did not last long.
No, because he who was it that he? Oh, was it Brandt? Was it Brandt? Oh,
yeah, Julian Brandt. Yeah, Julian Brandt.
And there was a couple before that as well, but
Draxler. Sorry to say the name again.
No.
Sorry again, man. I'm sorry. I'll buy.
You can go with Higuain. Go with Higuain.
Higuain was my go-to.
Okay, Benzema. Benzema was wearing the Arsenal shirt.
If you're gonna go to, Higuain is the one.
Yeah.
What about Benzema wearing the Arsenal shirt the other day? I saw too. What the hell is he wearing the Dennis Beckham shirt for?
Well, he is an Arsenal fan.
Well, I didn't know.
Yeah, he's been to the stadium a few times, I think.
Well, he didn't sign for us, Benzema, when you needed him.
I'll
But
never
anyway,
forgive him about the idea that he would sign for us.
Yeah.
After that, I was done with him.
Yeah. I think that was I think that was an agent thing, though. I think it was more. Yeah, he thought it was a joke.
Yeah.
I don't think he knew what he was doing at the time.
Didn't realize it was a real.
No, he thought it was. He just thought somebody was pulling his chain. I think that's it.
Yeah.
We're gonna do this, and then we'll kind of get off because we've probably bent your easy enough. What players are you getting rid of? I mean, we'll do that quickly. We kind of did it earlier, but you obviously didn't hear it. But yeah. So if 4 transfers in the window, who are you getting rid of? Who are you keeping, Bez?
Okay, I'll start with positions. I'll say goalkeeper none. I hate to say it, but it looks like Tierney is going in this race because somehow Arteta doesn't want him. So Tierney is out, sadly, as much as I love him. To replace him, really, it's hard. It's hard to call it right now. It's really hard to call who to replace.
Do we need a replacement there? We got Calafiori there. We got
no, not so much. Excuse me,
there as well.
Tough.
Yeah.
Again, I hate to say it, but
maybe.
Tierney will leave. Yeah. Midfield, I think Reece Nelson will just leave. I think he's had enough. Reece Nelson on loan. I think Reece will just leave. He knows on the cord. Fabio Vieira is another one in my eyes. He doesn't. I mean, he scored some great goals for Fabio Vieira. As much as I love the name, but I just realized he doesn't have that backbone you need in this league to compete. You know, he doesn't have that zilch, if I use that correctly. Striker wise, I would have said Jesus. We guys alluded earlier. If we leave Jesus to leave, then he gives us a little bit of no space.
Wait, he's a high earner as well. So but we need him fit to do that.
Yeah, but also I hate to say, but also as much as I adore Jesus, but he's a bit of a drama queen in my eyes.
A drama queen, really?
A little bit in my eyes, a bit of a drama queen. He likes to square up the players, you know. I noticed when he does with Holland in the away leg to City when he said, like, what's your problem? What's your problem? I'm like, man, calm down. We get it. You know, but hey, maybe it's just me being.
I mean, I thought that was just standing up for the manager, to be honest.
No, that I get, but it was a bit OTT.
It was OTT to go into the manager's face, go and tell him to be humble, wasn't it?
You're not wrong. Agree to disagree again.
No, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just.
No, it's all right. I'm just saying how this humbleness works. I know it looks like a vicious circle. My eyes is but yeah, that's what I see. But it's hard who to replace. I know who to kind of in my head to take out from the book, but who do you put back on the book? You know, that's the hard part.
Yeah, I mean we've got the main contenders, haven't you? You got Williams, who's always blooming linked, whether that's going to happen or not. Obviously, you've got Šeško, Gyökeres.
I like as well. Before I forget, I don't want to take much of this segment before we go, but I like Lookman very much.
I rate Lookman, and he can play both sides, and he can play a striker as well.
Yeah.
And he's very physically imposing as well. For his
if money wasn't a problem, Isaac, I think Lookman would be a good shout. I'd like us to get Nipan because I think at the money he'd be a good little player to kind of step in. I don't think you get a really talented attacking midfielder for cheap.
If you've got Nipan though, do you just bring Vieira back just to
keep it covered? Depends on the wage situation at that point. I think because if you're
bringing, he's only on like 50 grand.
Yeah, but I mean, if we haven't got rid of Jesus and Isaac and Lookman, for example, they'd want big wages. Depends what the overall wage bill starts to look like as to whether you can have the luxury of that cover at that point. I think that would probably be the deciding factor. I like Vieira. I think he's very talented. I agree. He doesn't have the mettle to play in the Premier League, but in moments he's shown he is very talented. It's not really worked.
Yeah.
No,
I get that, but I don't think he's necessarily stuck with him because I don't think he's his sign. and I think that's probably more why it hasn't worked than anything else. Because when he's actually brought him on, he brought him on to cover Saka in a few occasions, so he hasn't actually played his proper position. But I agree, he's not exactly physically fit for the bill, really.
And I also think that if Trossard doesn't leave and you get in a new winger, Trossard's ability to step into midfield, if we have to have someone, more creative, slightly different in midfield, I think he becomes that cover. So I think Vieira probably finds himself, and if he's done pretty well in Portugal, we might get an offer. He's one of those that going out on loan might have got his value back. And we might go for him. Nelson, are we going to get the money for him? He's not been as he's been an all right player,
hasn't he? So he's
So is there the value there? The one good thing about if we sell him is that it's pure profit.
Yeah, profit. Yeah, I mean, even if you got like 15 million or something for him, then you'd be worth with that one, yeah. What an interesting one here. Did you speak on Marino? What's your take on Marino?
See, I think he's a bit like a Ben White in midfield. He's like a 7 out of 10 every game kind of player, and I don't think he's ever going to do anything. I don't think he's regularly going to take the game. He's not going to take the game by the scruff of the neck. He's not going to be the one that does something amazing, but he'll just kind of always be at a certain level to plug into that gap. And I don't think we should be thinking that he's going to be part of our main midfield trio.
No, I think he's a bench player at the moment, don't you?
Yeah, but I think he's a solid bench player. I think he comes in and it does a job. But yeah, he's a bit of a he's got a use. Is that what
he's got a big use. He's a facilitator, that boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's Zubimendi's best mate.
I was about to say that too, but speaking of that quickly, Spot, without going off topic, I promise, but I feel like, as Callum alluded to, he makes kind of sometimes the hard things look so pleasant in the eye, but like simple things, he just gets like, please, I'm not attacking him. He gets Atalanta, Inter Milan, excuse me, because of the same colours of their shirt. Basically, I realized the way he put his hand up for the penalties, I was like, man, just keep things simple. You played this league before, you're reaching your late year of your 20s, now he's nearly 30, bless him. I do love him. We signed him around my birthday time last year. Well, yeah, it was last year. But I just feel sometimes he tries too hard. I feel what he needs to do, I know he's an Arsenal fan inside, of course, and which is nice for us to have that in our club. Be like Calafiori. Attack when you need to attack, defend when you need to defend, but same time is just keep things simple. Yeah. And his English is very good as well. He speaks really fluent.
Yeah, but the other thing you got to think that he doesn't have his best mate anymore. Yeah, and that when you're actually changing country, he's around Spanish people, he's around Basque people, but he doesn't have his best mate, and he's had his best mate there the whole time.
There's a few of them that like playing together. Odegaard was there with them. You got Isaac, you got Zubimendi, Marino. Bring the band back together. I think.
Yeah, I actually think that's what's going on. But I think we're after their sporting director as well. But I don't know if that's feasible. If it's going to happen. But yeah.
Do you not think Marino is almost he's a little bit Xhaka-esque before he started scoring?
Yeah,
like he's in that phase that people get annoyed with him for doing, because he's just doing lots of the little things quite well, and just facilitating what he just makes stuff move.
I don't think he's actually playing his position, because I don't think he has a position. A bit like Xhaka. So his position's not deep and his position's not high. He's kind of in between the two. He can't necessarily play the deep role and he can't necessarily play the advanced role, but he's more suited to the full pivot. And once you've got that, I think when you've got Rice moving around all the time and you've got Odegaard moving around all the time, he doesn't know what to do. because there's no fixed position. So he's not somebody that, and Xhaka was the same. He's not somebody that floats. He has his set routine, his set position, and that's why he's worked so well with Leverkusen, I think, because he's just literally gone, well, that's your position. We'll work everything else out. Don't worry about
it over again.
We'll work that out.
Yeah,
and it's worked.
True.
But we wouldn't do that.
No, because you've got to build stuff around Ødegaard getting on the ball. That he's the one to make something happen. He has to be the one that can float, and that we have to facilitate what he's doing as opposed to someone else in midfield.
Yeah. GK say 30 million on Marino to persuade Zubimendi. And no, not quite, right? We still needed to facilitate the position because Partey and Jorginho are leaving, right? We're still light in that position. It just so happens that is the best mate as Zubimendi. So, it's a theory. It's a theory. It's an educated theory, but not quite full throttle. But there we go. Right, I think we're there, aren't we? Are we about? Yeah. Anything else you want to add?
No, my only thing that I thought might come up today that didn't was about which is a theme that I'm seeing all the time, which is about Ødegaard not playing well. Everyone's kind of got it in their heads that he's not playing well. Yeah. And so I thought I'll just have a little look at the stats and see if that's real. Yeah. And his chances created this season, everyone thinks, he's really not doing it. He's not creating the way he normally does and this kind of stuff. And if you look at for the minutes he's played, he's just slightly better than Bruno Fernandes, who United fans think is brilliant this season and how wonderful he is. And look, he's the one making everything happen. Well, he's just slightly worse than Ødegaard when we're all thinking he's not doing as well. I think the only two midfielders who currently, based on the minutes they've played, are ahead of him are Palmer and De Bruyne. The only two.
What are the numbers on there?
I think Palmer was coming out at about 33 every 33 minutes. He was creating a chance.
Creating a chance, yeah.
Bruyne was actually amazing because his was like 24 minutes or 25 minutes, which shocked me. It was like really way better than everyone else.
Yeah.
And the others, Ødegaard and Bruno, are sitting at like 39, 40 minutes per chance, and no one else is kind of anywhere near from the midfield.
Right. Okay.
So it's one of those you go, okay, you're saying his level's not quite there, but actually he created the most chance from open play in the whole of 2024.
Yeah.
And even this season, he's not very good, is as good as almost anyone else.
yeah, which is crazy, isn't it? When you think, I mean, that's the standard you hold him to, though, isn't it? That's the thing.
Yeah, that's the levels we're expecting from him.
Yeah, if you perform that way, then it's expected all the time, isn't it?
Yeah.
Khalid, I think this Khalid was from my TikTok. I think it was in my TikTok group. New subscriber. Which days do you do this live? We're going to do them Tuesday and Thursday evenings. If we got more people and more people on the panel, obviously want to give people a variation. Then we're going to add more shows. And if people want to do their own shows, it sounds like Callum's a bit of a stato, so he might want to do a stato show. You never know. But they
Stop and Dave. Sorry, I had to say that. I've been meaning to say all night till that point.
Why am I getting cooked? What do you mean?
Philip Billing. I'm going Philip Billing.
Oh, because you said sell Raya. Yeah, I mean, I take it, Philip, you're attention seeking now. I think that's where you're going. And then you followed up with sell Trossard and Martinelli, and then followed up with invest in the top left wing. And I believe that's where we started the show.
Yeah. Full circle.
We've gone the whole 9 yards, right? So, Liverpool 2-0 up. Salah scored a penalty.
Boo. Oh, God. Hey,
I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying it wasn't a deserved penalty. I'm going to watch it shortly. Have you got it on?
Liverpool. I call Liverpool. That's what I call them.
Liverpool. I mean,
Liverpool. So I call
yeah, in
Liverpool,
this
but
instance,
Liverpool,
I
yeah,
don't really
Liverpool.
care because I'm quite happy for that. So yeah, so he says, yeah, he's just trying to help Arsenal out. And then he followed up by a great show, guys, by the way. Thank you very much, Philip.
Thanks, Philip.
Philip Billing. That's what we'll call him.
Right,
now.
guys. Yeah, so please make sure you're subscribing to the channel. Yeah, likes and comments on the show as well, and hit that bell notification. You'll get the notifications when we go live next. Bez, thanks for tonight.
Thanks very much. Sorry, exactly.
Yeah, I've
Well,
completely lost the
excuse me,
plot there. I was
topic.
going to something completely different. I don't know why. You've
No,
yeah,
you're
there's
right,
snakes and shirts and things like that.
There was a trumpet somewhere.
There's only one shirt
Yeah.
I'm wearing, and only one. I promise.
Yeah,
the
they
one.
completely throw me, to be honest.
Well, I'll be the 49ers. Then. Let's go the 49ers.
Oh, don't start another topic. We could go on to another.
No. I promise not to.
Oh God, Callum, first time on the show. Hopefully there'll be many more. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
You brought your entourage as well, so
I'm gonna have to go over to X and say thank you to a lot of people.
Yeah. So, I'm gonna have to like another 50 messages when he messages each person individually. Thank you very much. Thank you. And I go, I have to like every single blooming message. There we go. I hope you guys have enjoyed the show we have here. I've been Sparks. This is a Footy Corner. Subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you all next time. Good night.